Face, Jim. Jim,
Check, 1, 2.
make the Grinch face. Let's go.
I mean, with the Grinch.
David?
Okay, now we're ready.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Sarpy County Board of Equalization meeting. It's Tuesday, December 14th at 3 o'clock. Copy of the Nebraska Opens Meeting Rules are on the north wall of the boardroom. In attendance, we have Commissioners Burmeister, Klug, Warren, and Kelly. Commissioner Mixon is absent today. We have our County Administrator, Dan Hoynes, our County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Deb Houghtaling, our County Treasurer. Trace Jones is here. If you would, please silence your cell phones, and we'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to
To the flag
of
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Don, give me 1 minute. I got to remove Gary. I didn't know he wasn't going to be here. Okay, we're good to go.
Okay,
Thank you.
you bet. Okay, one item on the consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second. Go ahead.
Motion by Burmeister, second by Klug. Discussion?
I don't have anything up.
It's coming. Did you get it? Okay.
Yep.
Please vote.
A's for, absent Mixon. Okay.
Dave?
For the protection of the public, I move that we go into executive session to discuss pending litigation.
Second.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
I didn't, I got to send you for votes. Hold on.
Okay, I have a motion by Commissioner Klug and a second by Commissioner Burmeister to go into executive session. Discussion?
Do we have any idea how long it'll take?
I've heard about 2 minutes.
All right, just so other people that want to come back know that we aren't going to be in here for an hour.
Well, we're gonna go into we're gonna adjourn in the
Okay.
other room.
They
It
didn't
won't
think it'd
take
be
us
real-
long.
They didn't think it'd be real long, Jim. Okay.
Okay, please vote.
A's for, absent Mixon.
Okay, it's now 3:03. We're gonna go into executive session. The board will adjourn with the attorneys and required personnel to the conference room. Everybody can stay in place. We'll be back shortly. Ready, Deb?
We're ready to go.
Okay, it's now 3:07. At 3:03, we went in executive session where our discussion was restricted to, well, I lost it. What was it? Pending litigation?
Pending litigation.
Yeah, pending litigation. I need a motion to return to the regular session.
So move.
Second.
Motion by Klug, second by Burmeister. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, all agenda items have been addressed as published, and the Board of Equalization is adjourned.
Okay. Ready.
Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Board of Commissioners meeting. It's Tuesday, December 14th at 3:08 p.m. Copy of the Nebraska Opens Meeting Act rules are on the north wall of the boardroom. We have 4 commissioners present, Burmeister, Klug, Warren, and Kelly, and we have our County Administrator, Dan Hoynes, and County Clerk and Register of Deeds, Deb Houghtaling, present. Commissioners' comments. Commissioner Burmeister.
I have none, thanks.
This is the last board meeting for the year, right?
Yes.
All right, just wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and a Happy New Year.
Ditto, same. Thank you.
Dan.
Other than I think we were going to mention maybe we're the next meeting being January 4th, Mr. Chair.
January 4th it is.
We have it down.
Okay,
It's down.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, anything else, Dan?
No, nothing, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, there's 7 items on the consent agenda. Would any of the commissioners like to see any of those items moved to the regular agenda? And if not, I'll take a motion to approve as published.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Klug. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, on the regular agenda, item 5.1 is Resolution 403, Smoke Control System Special Inspection Service Proposal with Code Consultants Professional Engineering PC, CCI, for Sarpy County Correctional Center. Project in the amount of $58,000. Captain Brian Richards.
Good afternoon, Commissioners.
Good afternoon.
Resolution 403 is for us to approve the contract with CCI to provide smoke control system inspection as required by the International Building Code adopted by the state of Nebraska as a requirement. The amount that is being asked for this resolution is $58,000.
Questions for Brian on this?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Klug, second by Commissioner Burmeister. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 5.2 is Resolution 404. Additional services proposal with DLR Group to include HVAC commissioning services for the Sarpy County Correctional Center project in the amount of $86,700, and to authorize the Director of Administrative Services to sign said proposal and proceed with negotiating contract documents or amendments with DLR. Captain Brian Richards.
Thank you. Resolution 404 is for a letter of intent to spend $86,700 on HVAC systems inspections, also required by the 2018 Energy Code adopted by the state of Nebraska for verification of systems efficiency. I would ask the board to give us the power to approve that once we finalize a contract with DLR Services.
Questions? Motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Klug, second by Burmeister. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Thank you.
You got the next, you got the next one too?
Thank you. No, I don't.
Okay, thanks, Captain Richards.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
5.3 is Resolution 434, establishing a guaranteed maximum price amendment for the amount of $1,543,145 to the contract for the construction manager at risk with Luter Construction Company, previously approved by Resolution 2021-282, for the courthouse administration addition remodel project, Beth Garber, County Purchasing and Capital Projects Manager.
Thank you, Chairman. On August 24th, the County Board approved the CMAR contract with Leader Construction for the remodel of this building, the Administration Addition. Over the past few months, Facilities Management, Purchasing, IS have been working with the project architect, Allie Pointer, along with Leader Construction to define the scope and the parameters of the project. After this process was done, we came up with a guaranteed, or Leader came up with a guaranteed maximum price, or a GMP, of $1,543,145, with work beginning January 3rd and will last approximately 9 months. This project will eliminate the need for two leased spaces, along with including the demolition of the East Annex building to allow for additional needed parking.
Questions for Beth?
Well, is that fairly close, if I remember right, to the estimate?
So when we started in August, the estimate was 1.7.
1.7. Okay. Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Burmeister. Questions, comments, discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
5.4 is Resolution 418, committing $14,402,377 of American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds to projects outlined in the attached exhibit as Phase 1 commitments. We're going to get a brief from Bill Conley, who's Sarpy County's Chief Financial Officer. Bill.
Try that again. Okay, there we go. Good afternoon. I want to take a few minutes and just brief you a little bit on the ARPA. It's a pretty major activity for the county. As you know, the county has received half of our $36 million ARPA funds, and how those funds are spent are certainly important to the county and to our residents. And so I think it's important that on behalf of the ARPA task force, I just give you a briefing today. I have a few slides. I'll go through them fairly quickly. So we've done a number of things. We formed an ARPA task force. We established a website. We're trying to be very transparent as to what we're doing with the ARPA funds in the process. We've established priorities. We have started to review funding requests that have come in both from the county, from within the county, and from the community. I'll talk about that in a minute. And we are today recommending the first tranche, the first portion of the $36 million to be approved by this board to be spent out of the $36 million of ARPA funds. We adopted the GFOA, that's the Government Finance Officers Association, guiding principles because we think that they're really good when it comes to the ARPA funding. And that is, this is one-time money. It should be used for non-recurring expenditures, really not there to create new programs that will have cliff funding problems down the road once the funding wears off. Don't want to have to require ongoing financial commitment, and that really key critical infrastructure is a good use of the funds. So we, the ARPA task force requested, and we went public and requesting the community, they could make requests of funds during the month of October. I'm struggling with a pretty simple concept there. We asked the community to request use of ARPA funds in October. And so we got a number of requests for millions and millions of dollars. We also got a lot of requests from internal departments and offices within the county. We are continuing to monitor and review the U.S. Treasury Department guidelines, the interim final regulations. Treasury Department has never come out and indicated and issued final guidance. We don't know if they will or not. One way they're getting at this is that there's already new legislation going through the House and Senate to modify ARPA. It's H.R. 5735 and Senate Bill 3011. So that'll provide some spending flexibility with regard to the $36 million. So far, we have spent $509,000 of our $36.4 million that we expect to get. We did that with the kind of pre-approval from this board, but that $509,000 is included in the $14+ million commitment that you're approving today. And we have no plans to utilize ARPA funds for premium pay that some cities and counties are doing. So this slide, you saw this a month or so ago when I presented on the proposals we got from the community and from the county. In total, we have a list of $71 million of projects for use out of our $36 million of cash. So we have almost a 2-for-1, twice as many requests as we have funding dollars. So what we have done over the last month is that the ARPA task force and my office in particular has taken all of those $71 million of proposals and put them through a grid where we evaluated them based on the GFOA guidelines. Again, was it a non-recurring project? Is it a new program? Is it critical infrastructure? And then we also made sure that does it meet the ARPA requirements? You know, we got to make sure we're complying with that. And thirdly, does it best serve the Sarpy County organization and the residents? So out of that, and this shows kind of where we're at, and really the primary piece of information on here is that there's $14.4 million of requests that we are recommending today for your approval to move forward with use of the ARPA funds. Really everything else, the phase 2, phase 3 is to be determined. I just indicated where they were at in our initial assessment. I would say that some projects are going to move up or down from phase 3 to 2 or 2 to 3, and we do have some projects that we think we can fund out of other sources, and some projects that we know initially we're not going to fund, and there are going to be more that are going to be in that category by the time we're done. So really the point of this slide is just that there's $14.4 million recommended today. This exhibit was included with the agenda item, $14.4 million. The biggest piece of that is $13 million for the new jail. There are aspects of the construction of the new jail where we will improve air quality, where we will improve distancing, where we will improve outdoor recreation, indoor-outdoor recreation facilities, and other aspects of that. The courtroom that's going to be adjacent to the facility, and all of those things are, in our opinion and our analysis, things that can be covered with use of the ARPA funds. And why that's important, I'm a broken record on this, but why it's important is that this nearly $80 million project of a new jail, by use of this $13 million, we think we will have financed it with $40 million of bonds. So we've cobbled together enough internal funding through sinking fund dollars, through ARPA, and through other activities so that we will have really a mortgage that's 50% of the project. That's going to benefit the taxpayers for a long, long time. So that's a good thing. The other items of note on here, $500,000 in the human services area for rent and other assistance direct to residents of Sarpy County. Sharon Bammer is doing a great job. She coordinates this through Lift Up, and this is direct aid to our residents that have needs. And we've already moved over $300,000 of that, so this is another $200,000 that will be available, and we likely have a piece of this in the next phase in March or April. We have replacement of our sheriff vehicles in here. We just put that in here because we know it is something that we budgeted for it, and we know it's something that qualifies. In the tourism area, the replacement of the turf at Werner Park was a project that we planned on using ARPA, and we just recently completed the turf replacement. So that is $200,000 of the funding. And you can see, you can go down the list. I won't go into it in any more detail. And then finally, just next steps on ARPA. We will continue to monitor the legislative changes to allowable ARPA spending use. The Senate Bill 3011 already has passed. The House bill was introduced, and almost every day I'm getting notification that there's a new co-sponsor. There's hundreds of sponsors now, it seems like, for that bill. So I have an indication, that gives me an indication that it's going to pass. And that's good. And what it'll allow is that of our $36 million, we could spend up to $10.9 million for what are called transportation and infrastructure. And we have to evaluate more whether that will, whether our road projects would qualify for that, but we think it might. And we could have up to $10 million for governmental services. So it really, and thanks again to Commissioner Werner for alerting me to this legislation, it'll just allow us more flexibility instead of having to make sure that we qualify on every use of the ARPA, every restriction. This will give us some bigger buckets to put items in. We will continue to document compliance with ARPA and submit reports. Our next report, a key report, is due at the end of January. And we will continue to review our requests against the evaluation criteria and plan to next come back in front of you in March or April with the Phase 2 recommendations for use of ARPA funds. So with that, I will open it up and try to answer any questions you might have.
I just want to say thanks to you, Bill, for all your hard work, you and your staff working together. This is great, very helpful. Appreciate it.
It's our pleasure.
I would echo Commissioner Burmeister's comments.
Thank you.
So we got almost $23 million in public requests.
Yes.
Do you anticipate any, a percent of those that will be funded in additional distributions, or?
Offhand, I don't know what the percentage of that might be funded in the next wave. We'll continue to look at
There will be some funded, though, right?
We think there will be some funded in
Okay.
the next.
I guess, because I'm looking at the current allocation, it's mostly county, all worthy things, but it looks like the Sarpy Cass Health Department got some funding? Is that,
Not in the initial, no.
the mental health needs assessment, is that, it says, mental health board. Who is that? Is that in the correctional center?
That's the county.
County, okay. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Klug, second by Commissioner Burmeister. Discussion? Please vote.
Oops. I meant to vote for that. Sorry, Deb.
Okay, I'll name it. Okay. A's for, absent Mixon.
Thank you.
Okay,
Fine.
thanks, Bill.
Oh, wait a minute, I gotta change that. Okay.
Okay,
Gotcha.
5.5 is Resolution 436, termination of the Declaration of Covenants and Rules of Leisure Village Recreational Vehicle Park. Nicole Spitzenberger, Deputy County Attorney.
Hi, Commissioners. Back in 2010, the Leisure Village property got a special use permit approved, and part of that special use permit, required that that there be a declaration of covenants filed with the Register of Deeds against the property. Right now, the property is under sale, contract for sale, and so we need the County Commissioners' permission to remove the declaration of covenants, and that's what this resolution does. If, for some reason, the sale falls through, the owner or future owner would have to come back to this board if they wanted to use the property for anything other than what's zoned as ag use. So, any questions?
Questions? I see Mr. Lang is here. Did you want to address the board, Mr. Lang?
Just briefly, Chairman Kelly, members of the Sarpy County County Board. My name is Jim Lang, 8526 F Street. I represent Leisure Village. We're here. These covenants were put in place in 2010 when the special use permit was issued. Under the covenants, for the covenants to be terminated or amended, we have to have the county board's approval. So we're here to ask the county board to terminate the covenant so Mr. Krejci can sell the property. Any questions, I'll be happy to answer those.
No, appreciate all your support of the board here. This has been a difficult issue, as we've discussed many times,
Yes.
so really appreciate your leadership.
Okay, and we appreciate the board working with us on this, and I know it was not an easy special use permit. I understand that.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, appreciate it. Thank you.
You bet.
Motion to approve 2021-436.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Klug. Discussion? Thanks, Nicole. Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 5.6 is Resolution 423, Sarpy County Sewer Funds, $10 million commitment to the Sarpy County and City's Wastewater Agency, Phase 1A, construction of the Unified South Sarpy Wastewater System. Dan Hoynes, County Administrator.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. This funding, the Sarpy County Sewer Excess Funding of $10 million, is going to be designated as a potential use to fund the Phase 1B or 1A bid for the trunk sewer line. The reason we need this is we've been negotiating with NDEE in Lincoln for what I'll refer to as permanent financing of the $70 million project. We're very, very close, but we're not there right now, and so we're asking you to designate that. Also attendant with this discussion is the contract is $24,999,000, round up $25 million. Or a little less than half, 10.9 of that's already on hand with the sewer agency. Was a required contribution from the Gemini/Facebook project. And the agency has $4.1 million in gap funding they will be considering tomorrow. That gets us to the 25. I fully anticipate resolving the issues with the NDEE, and we may not even need this. When we do finalize it, we'll have a resolution immediately following approval of the NDE loan, rescinding this $10 million. And we'll do the same at the agency. So, and again, final comment that if any of the funds are used, the order of operations are agency funds first, Facebook money where applicable and appropriate by the contract, then the county. So we're third in line effectively. So that concludes
Questions
sir.
for Dan?
Motion
Well,
to approve.
We got a motion by Commissioner Warren,
Second.
second by Commissioner Klug. Comments, discussion? I appreciate your leadership on this, Dan, and I appreciate the support you've gotten from Bill Conley to get this agreement with NDEE across the finish line. And if it'll help, we'll send them a holiday greeting. Wish them happy holidays down there at the NDEE.
Probably one of the few times in my life I'm just going to not comment.
Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 5.7 is Resolution 426, directing the county engineer and the Sarpy County Administrator to apply for federal funding through the Metropolitan Area Planning Agency Fiscal Year 22 Transportation Improvement Plan under the Surface Transportation Block Grant category for various road projects throughout Sarpy County. Scott Bovick.
Thank you, Commissioner. This is a partnership project with administration and the county engineer's office. Each year, MAPA has a call for projects where local entities within the MAPA region can submit their projects to go on the Transportation Improvement Program and try to be eligible for federal funding. In the past, MAPA has not had a lot of available funding, but with the recent federal legislation, we're hoping that the metro area will see more funds, and so working with Denny Wilson's staff, we developed the projects that are listed in your agenda. One other thing that's unique about these projects is they have to really be for projects on our federal roadway functional classification system, and I was trying to show that on the map so that you can see those key corridors. So we are going to submit an application to potentially do an asphalt overlay program, and that would be for improvements. Thanks, Scott. for improvements on some of these corridors, same with the concrete panel replacement. That category is a system preservation category. The nice thing about that is the federal requirements to do those projects are fairly simple. So we might have a really good shot at getting some of this money. Work we already do, if we can get federal funds in, that would just make the rest of the county dollars stretch further. And then we are going to submit some projects under the capital projects subcategory. And having a good idea of the board's priorities, the projects you've identified in the 1 and 6 year road program, and the ones that we've already kind of pinpointed for federal funding, we're going to submit the 168th Street project. That's from Highway 370 to Harrison Street to expand that roadway to 4 or 5 lanes. Platteview Road, we know, is a priority for the county board, and so we're going to submit 2 separate projects, Platteview Road from Highway 75 to 42nd Street, and Platteview Road from the 84th and Highway 370 intersection, probably like 72nd to 90th. Those 2 projects are identified as grade separated crossings. They're expensive, so we thought this would be a first chance to see where that falls. And then, of course, Harrison Street is a project that the county and the city of Omaha and Douglas County have worked on over the years, and proposing to add 157th Street to 181st Street, that stretch, to try to eventually get that to 5 lanes. Again, the catch is if you get on the list and you get federal funding, you have to follow a federal process. That takes more time and costs more. But at this point, Denny and I have had some meetings with MAPA talking about options, and we felt like is in our best interest to apply for multiple projects, see where those go, and then we can plan accordingly, and then also be part of the conversation on an annual basis going forward. The deadline to submit is January 7th, and then the MAPA committees will go through selection and review process, and so we should have some indication of how our applications did in May of '22. So that I'd be happy to answer any questions, and Denny's here as well, can answer questions.
So on the map, which you don't have up, but I can see, it shows that there's a road in the southern part of the county that's a major collector. Is that Flug Road, or?
What you're probably looking at is Platteview Road.
Well, no, it's south of Platte. It's actually south.
Oh,
South
on the
Springfield.
southwest part of the county, that's Buffalo Road. That's paved, the
Buffalo?
purple one.
Yeah.
Yeah, old Buffalo down there.
Yeah, that's Buffalo Road. And I think when you look at the transportation network out in that area, that's the one paved roadway where people can access.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. Danny, did you want to address the board on this at all?
I'll keep my comments short. One of the things that we are aware of when we submit these projects is that we need traffic volumes and those sorts of things, but we're also looking at the preservation of existing roadways, such as Buffalo Road and some of those types of road systems that we have as links. So with MAPA's application, we'll submit everything we can and make it look just as great as possible so we can locate some of the monies. I'm the chair of that particular committee, so I won't be able to vote, obviously, on those particular projects, but I can at least present a case. And I am pretty sure Jim will have the opportunity to do the same thing.
Did you guys say how much money MAPA expects to get in federal funding?
I've heard rumors that it could be up to 30% more than they have in previous years.
Okay.
We know that there may be some competitive programs out there that are available, and we're positioning ourselves to try to go after some of those as well. So.
Right. It would be great if we could Shanghai one of them at least, because that's big dollar. These are all big dollar projects, right?
Yeah.
Well, we got the right man on the task with Jim Warren and Denny and Scott. So Jim actually sits on the agency board and campaigns very aggressively for Sarpy County, and it's paid some dividends. So appreciate your leadership.
Pressure's on, Jim. Yeah, thanks, Denny.
Any other questions or comments?
Move 2021-426.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Burmeister. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 5.8 is Resolution 435, interlocal cooperation agreement with the City of Gretna for the remittance of the Arterial Street Improvement Program, known as ASIP, fees to Sarpy County for specific county road projects within Gretna's 2-mile ETJ and adjacent to the Connect Sarpy West Giles Road project. Scott.
This last fall, Gretna, because of the census, became a first-class city, and so they had the right to extend their extraterritorial jurisdiction to 2 miles. And so they did that. That's the black line that is highlighted with yellow around it. And when they did that, that did put the Connect Sarpy West Giles project within their 2-mile ETJ, and it did mean that Gretna then became entitled to the ASIP fees that the developments in that area contribute. And so we've been working with the city to let them know that we did go out for significant bond financing on this project, and that the county did plat these numbered subdivisions and projected to use the revenue, ASIP revenue from those developments towards our bond payments. Working with Mayor Evans and Paula Dennison, the city administrator, they were definitely willing to work with us to come to agreement so that they will collect those ASIP fees and they will remit those fees to the county for each of those developments identified in this agreement. The blue lines are the Connect Sarpy roadway projects, the segments that we're doing. We put a projection on these numbers. It's very rough, but we're expecting at least $3 million in revenue on ASIP. It could be up to $5 million, depending upon how some of those areas develop and the amount of building permits. And then the other thing that we're doing in this agreement is we did ask Gretna to be a strong partner with us to make sure that they're collecting the lane contributions from all these developments, because we will no longer see them in our planning process. They'll go directly through the city of Gretna, and the city of Gretna has been a partner in that. And so we were looking at the numbers recently on what we expect these developments to pay the county back as it develops, and the estimate is about $15 million from those surrounding developments. So there's a lot of money on the line. Gretna's going to be a good partner with us to collect that money, and having this ASIP come in will also help us generate the revenue we need to pay those bonds. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Comments?
Motion to approve 435.
Second.
A motion by Warren, a second by Commissioner Klug. Scott, just let Gretna know we appreciate their teamwork on this. They didn't have to do this. They stepped up to the plate because it's in the best interest of the citizens of Sarpy County and Gretna. So good on them for that. And we got a Christmas card from them. So they're moving up the list here. All right. Go ahead and vote. Thanks, Scott.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 5.9 is Resolution 420 amended and restated. Interlocal cooperation agreement with SID 319 Estates at Wynwood for Schramm Road improvements. Scott.
The county board had approved an interlocal agreement back in 2017 with this SID Estates at Wynwood, and the Schramm Road project from 218th to 234th, which you see on your map, was put on the 1 and 6 year road program at the time. But we've been working to get this project out the door, and so this is an amendment to the interlocal that was in place. And really the major change is we worked with the developer to ask them to front the construction costs. That's something that's unique that we haven't really done before, but we know this is a priority for the development. It's something that the county needs to find funding for, but we need more time. But we also don't want the project to drift into future years and then the cost increase. And so what you see here is that stretch of road, the developments that is filling in as the estates at Wynwood. There is some potential opportunity to capture more funds from some development in the area. At this point, that's not solidified. We need to move forward with this project, but just know that we'll continue to identify opportunities as other development happens. The timeline is to do design and right-of-way acquisition in 2022. That's an aggressive schedule, and then get out to construction in 2023. Again, an aggressive schedule, but we think that with the SID's support and with the engineering firm and county engineer's office, we can make progress on that. The next agenda item that you have is to do an agreement with TD2 to do the design work on this agreement, and I can make a couple comments there. But with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions. And Jim Lang is represents the SID, and then Doug Kellner with TD2 is here as the engineer.
And this is a gravel road currently?
It's currently a rock road, yeah. And we did work with the SID and the city of Gretna to determine what level of improvement was needed here. You know, a lot of cases we're building a 3-lane road. We're all able to look at this and go, a 2-lane road is sufficient because to the west of this area is mostly floodplain. But with all these developments on it, that area right there is a heavily traveled road. But yeah, this will be taking it from rock to 2 lanes of pavement.
Those properties to the north are single-family acreages, aren't they?
They are.
So they won't be contributing, right?
Not likely. Yeah.
Most of them have been there through their second, third, or fourth owner. And
so that why there's really a kind of a low. It's going to be kind of a low-density road because there's
right.
Because of that, right?
And most traffic obviously is going to the east in the morning, and then the west in the evening. You'd think. So.
Is the rest of that estates at Wynwood, the southern part, looks like there's a road going through there, but is the rest of that going to be developed as well? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. That's the last phase, and once we sign this agreement, then they're going to be able to move forward with developing the rest of that area.
Okay. Any other questions?
Motion to approve.
second.
Motion by Klug, second by Warren. Discussion?
Just comment. Scott and I had talked about this, and it's one that's needed to have been done for a long time, and suggested, well, maybe we could talk to the developer and see if they were willing to front it. And I remember the day I called Jim and talked to him, and he goes, well, that'd be unique. But and got back to me with a relatively short period of time with a go-ahead on it. So appreciate, Jim, for your help on this.
Appreciate Scott's work on this and the board's work on this and the staff. Scott did a great job on this. Really appreciate this.
Thank you.
On behalf of my client, Mr. Krejci, also, Mr. Krejci will be getting a Christmas card out. Shortly.
You know, Jim, we're negotiating salaries. Could you strike that from the record? All right.
Once again, thank you.
Thank you.
On behalf of Mr. Krejci and the SID, I want to thank you for your work on this. I know it's a tough project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job, Scott.
Yeah.
Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 510 is Resolution 416. It's a professional service agreement with TD Squared for Schramm Road improvements, Copper Ridge Road to 234th Street. Scott.
Again, agreement with TD2 Engineering. We've worked with them in the past. I know the county engineer's office has reviewed the agreement and recommends approval. And the funding, I should say, for the engineering agreement and the payback period for the construction are all included in the 1 and 6 year road program. So we've been working on this, and we're here in front of you now, but we've known about it this past year, and the numbers were included in the 1 and 6 year road program. So.
Great.
Yep.
Questions for Scott? Motion?
Motion to approve 416.
Second.
Motion by Warren, second by Klug. Discussion? Please vote.
Thought it took.
There you
Sorry
go.
about that.
Okay, Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, 511 is Resolution 425, authorizing the board chairman and the clerk to act on behalf of the board in the event of a regular meeting is not held. A motion, please?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion by Burmeister, second by Klug. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, item 6-1.
Protection of the public interest, I move that we go into executive session to discuss litigation.
Second.
Okay,
Got
well,
it. I'm sorry, I'm setting it up right now. Okay.
we have a motion by Commissioner Klug, a second by Burmeister, to go into executive session. Discussion? Please vote.
Ayes 4, absent Mixon.
Okay, it's now 3:47. We're going to go into executive session where our discussion will be restricted to litigation.
Okay, let me get you shut down. Okay, you're good.
Okay. It's now 4:05. At 3:47, we went into executive session where our discussion was restricted to litigation. I need a motion to return to regular session.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Klug, second by Burmeister. Discussion?
Wait a minute, did you get the voting up there?
No.
Okay. There it goes. Okay, it's on. Okay.
Please vote.
There you go. Okay, Ayes 4, absent Mixon. We're good.
Okay. All agenda items having been addressed as published, the Board of Commissioners is now adjourned. Sine die.
See you next year. You know, you cut my chairmanship short by a week, you know.
I know.
Wow.
Sorry.
I get to do so much while I'm chair.
Sorry, man. Well, look at all the agenda items we had today. Could you imagine if we waited till the 11th? It'd be a.
Now, but you know, next year if